Hey everybody, we will get started in just a moment here. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up in the chat if the audio is working. Also, please let me know about the video, if we are streaming in 1080p. And if we are, we will go ahead and get started here in just a moment. Thank you all for joining. Alright, I think we are about ready to kick this off. So good evening everybody and welcome back to Walks and Wall Street. Today is November 26th, 2023 and it is a Sunday. It is the last day of the Thanksgiving holiday week. So before we get started, I just want to, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday weekend. Hopefully you had some time to relax and recharge before the week ahead. So wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully it was fantastic and everything you wish for and more. Now, we're pretty much back into the swing of things now on Wall Street. Last week was a shortened week of trading. Obviously Thursday was Thanksgiving. Both equity markets and fixed income markets were closed. And then on Friday, even though the market was open, we had an early close. It closed at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 p.m. So, volumes on the exchanges were pretty muted. There was not a lot of action happening in the stock market or the bond market, but I think we could expect that to pick up as we move into the week ahead, which is actually the final week of November, by the way. This month has been going by extremely fast. Not only the month, the quarter. Q4 is almost over. We have one more month, and then, believe it or not, it's 2024, which is quite wild. So over the next coming streams, probably we'll start this in December. We're going to be doing a 2024 outlook for the markets. We're going to be doing some comparative analysis as it relates to how markets have performed in the past during an election year, right? I know not many of you are looking forward to it, but we got to bite the bullet and get it done. 2024 is an election year. All right, believe it or not, whether you're Democrat, Republican, whether you're looking forward to it, we have to endure it, unfortunately. So I've compiled, and I'm almost complete with some historical stock market returns during election year. And we've even gotten very granular to say which specific sectors perform the best during an election year, which specific sectors perform the worst. I think you guys are going to be very interested to hear that. We will be writing a piece about that in our Behind the Street newsletter. But again, look for that going out into December. Obviously on Friday, it was Black Friday, right? We did a quick live stream in the city. We walked around some of the major shops, the Apple Store, which is 24/7, 365. We do have some preliminary sales data that came in for Black Friday shoppers for online sales. Okay, so I thought it would be appropriate to go over that before we get into the live stream. So Black Friday shoppers spent a record $9.8 billion in U.S. online sales. That was up 7.5% from last year, according to CNBC. So, kind of what we discussed last night, right? We were talking about the fact that consumers seem to be very pessimistic, and particularly millennials, to kind of sector out a specific group. I was reading an article, I'm not too sure how accurate that article is, but the article said the average millennial thinks they need a $500,000 plus salary to feel happy and secure in the United States. Now, if you look at all the other demographics, it's significantly less than that. So I'm not too sure what's going on with millennials there. It just seems a little bit strange. So we have consumer sentiment and market sentiment in general being very negative. But we have this market emerging out of a correction, and look, the sales numbers don't lie, right? I mean, these are people spending money online, and all-time record high, up 7.5%. So as we have Cyber Monday roll out, we'll definitely get an update on Cyber Monday data as well as in-store data too. Let's go ahead and look at the week ahead on Wall Street here, folks. We will start off the week on Monday. I'm going to characterize this week in one simple phrase, or I should say one simple word, and that's going to be housing, right? We're having earnings season wind to a close. There's really only one major software company this week that is going to be reporting earnings, and that is Salesforce, ticker symbol CRM. Obviously, when you think of Salesforce, you think of Mark Benioff and San Francisco, but we're going to get a lot of housing data. So the Census Bureau is going to report new home sales data. We'll get into that. I'll give you my take of what I think about that. Let's just say I think new home sales is going to come in above expectations, and I think that will remain that way through the entirety of Q4, and I have some reasons for that. We'll talk about that in the chat. Then on Tuesday, S&P CoreLogic will release its Case-Shiller Home Price Index. Now again, this is a national home price index, so if you look at what the vast majority of economists are expecting, they're calling for a 4.2% year-over-year increase in home prices. That compares with a 2.2% rise in August. We'll talk about why that may be a thing, and then we're going to have one of the Federal Reserve's key inflation metrics coming out on Thursday, which is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, as they release their core personal consumption expenditures price index for October. I think that's all I got, guys. What did you think about that? Thumbs up, thumbs down, what do we got? Might as well check futures since we're here. Futures should have just opened, so we'll go ahead and check out the S&P 500 E-mini futures contract trading under the ticker symbol ES. We're down about 9 points. Trading at 4,559. Let me refresh my screen here. We're by the train station, so the internet's kind of slow sometimes. All right, NASDAQ 100 down about 50 points, trading at 15,968. And then last but not least, the YM, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average E-minis, trading down about 58 points. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close up the laptop here. We will go ahead and get the stream started. Oh, last but not least, go ahead and check your emails, because I did send out our free financial newsletter on Friday. So obviously we had Thanksgiving on Thursday, so I did not want to send out the Behind the Street newsletter on Thursday, so we did send it out on Friday, and I think you're going to get a lot of value out of that. So go ahead and check your email. It's a little bit of a different take, a little bit of a different perspective on the newsletter for Thanksgiving. It's titled A Thanksgiving Lesson, How to Crush It in Markets and in Life. It's essentially a story of the best piece of advice I've ever gotten in the investment business from a very successful hedge fund manager, which many of you probably know. And then we give a little bit of market update commentary and an exclusive behind-the-scenes video tour of the penthouse at 75 First Avenue. So if you want to sign up to receive our free investing newsletter, you can go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen and punch in your email, or type !news, NEWS in the chat, and you can go ahead and click the link to our Substack. It should say https://walkswallstreet.substack. Go ahead and click that, and every other Thursday you will be signed up to receive all of our market research for free. So let me know how you like it, and we will get started here in a moment. Thanks. It's a little wet and windy here, so just bear with me. You know, let me go ahead and, I don't know what to do. So the rain is not really like the rain you would expect. It's kind of like a misty rain, which is almost kind of the worst kind, because with the misty rain, you can't really use the umbrella to protect yourself. It's kind of just like you're gonna walk into it and you're gonna have to deal with it. So let's see who we have in the chat here. Once again, if you scan the QR code, punch in your email, you will be signed to receive the newsletter. So I see Sabrina Ferris here. What is going on? Laytha, the one and only, it's good to see you. Sparks Carnival, God bless and happy Thanksgiving. Wizard, FredX, Lila is here, the one and only Solo 401. I see Hawaii, By the Book is here, Jenzen, and Vinny. What's up, everybody? Let me go ahead and turn off the Wi-Fi here. And, maybe we'll check out the Hudson Yards first, since we're all the way over here. And I don't think it's going to be too windy tonight. It's just like this misty kind of rain. So I apologize for there's probably going to be a lot of, I should say, raindrops on the camera tonight. But I don't know if there's going to be anything I could do about that. Because once again, it's not the traditional rain we have. Hey, Jules, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us on this, we already got nasty stuff on the camera lens. Bree Grams, good to see you. Welcome, everybody. So let me know in the chat, did you guys have a good Thanksgiving? Did you have a well-deserved and much-needed rest? Let me know. It's back to reality tomorrow. It's back to the old grind. It's a full day, or I should say a full week of work. So hopefully you took the time, took advantage of it, and got some rest. I know I did. It was a busy day for me today, though. I was all the way out in Brooklyn at the Conover. 199 Conover Street. It's a new development we're working on over there. And surprisingly, the open house was relatively packed. It's pretty much nonstop all day, which was good. You know what, let me do this. I'm gonna put this away. All right, maybe that'll be a little bit better. Oof. You know what? I think the Hudson Yards is going to be a no-go tonight. It's just too windy. Right as you walk to the east side, or I should say the west side, excuse me, the wind is going to blow your brains out, and I don't want my brains intact tonight. I think it's a little bit too windy. We'll do a rain check on that. Hey, Frank, so Thanksgiving is October. I got it. Yeah, we have a lot of Canadian viewers. Well, hopefully when you had your Thanksgiving, it was good. Solo Flyer, good to see you. Welcome. But yeah, I mean, everybody, like I said, this week ahead on the street is probably going to be, I should say, a more important one, right? Hey, 446 is great newsletter, Tom. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Also, let me know how the audio comes out on the newsletter. I recorded the podcast. I recorded the podcast, I think, 2 days ago. So if you don't want to read the newsletter, and if you have the Substack application, you could download the app, and I narrate the newsletter for you. But I think the most exciting thing about the newsletter this week was the penthouse tour. I finally was able to embed some really cool video in the newsletter. So, I don't know, let me know what you think of Penthouse 8A at 75 First Avenue. It's kind of cool. Hey, RJ is here. Good to see you, RJ. Trust you had a very good Thanksgiving. But, as I was saying, this is going to be a full trading week, right? And I think this is probably going to be a higher volume trading week because everybody's going to be back in the office, but I don't think a lot of people are going to be taking off because they're going to wait for 2 weeks to take off. Usually the week before Christmas is totally a ghost town and is totally dead. A piece of New York City news, I think on November 30th, they will be lighting the Wall Street Christmas tree, which I'm excited about. I actually may go to that. What do you guys think? Should we, as a team here, should we live stream the Wall Street Christmas tree lighting right outside of the New York Stock Exchange? I may be down in that area that day too. I have a few showings in Tribeca, so who knows? Maybe we'll go down there. I think it's from 3 to 6, I believe it is. We'll check it out. Sally says yes, sunshine after rain. Says yes, that would be great. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I think that'll be fun. I mean, God willing, it's not going to be rainy or windy, so we'll see. Austin City Limits is here. What's up? Elliott Wave Reviews says, hey Tom, any plans to visit the Lower East Side and Soho soon? Yeah. We were down in the Village yesterday, right, everybody? But, the weather has been, actually, I can't use the weather as an excuse. The weather's been freaking rock solid. It's just I've been working late at the office in Midtown Manhattan. So maybe this week we'll be able to get down to Soho and the like. We'll see. So this is 42nd Street. I think there's a Knicks game coming out. I see everybody dressed in Knicks jerseys. Mr. G says, Tom, what are your thoughts about the US dollar index by the end of the year? I don't know what it's going to be at by the end of the year. I don't think anybody does, but I think relatively, if you look at the year-to-date performance of the dollar, in the second half of the year, the dollar has actually come down, and that's pretty good for earnings, actually. I remember, we were doing these live streams throughout 2022 when stocks were really getting their heads taken off, and I remember being on a lot of these earnings calls, particularly Apple and a lot of major companies that do a lot of business abroad, right? So US companies that sell a lot of products and services abroad, and that was a big headwind for them, right? Having a very, very strong US dollar. We had a lot of, everybody was like crowding into the US as a flight to quality, and when that happens, the dollar gets bid up in a big way. We had a lot of foreign currency crises in 2022. That was putting a burden on corporate profits. Now, if you think about the reasons why, it kind of makes sense. Real quick, this is the corner of 34th Street and 8th Avenue. And you're looking at the famous New Yorker Hotel here. But if you're Tim Cook and if you're Apple, and you're selling your products, your services, your hardware, and your software in other countries, right? Well, it's an American company, so Apple reports earnings in US dollars. So when you sell your products in foreign currency, and when you go back to do the currency conversion, if the US dollar continues to go up, up, and up, that foreign currency is gonna buy a lot less US dollars. So that's gonna eat into earnings, and that's gonna eat into revenue denominated in dollars too. Now check out this building, everybody. It's really starting to come down now, the rain. This building, I believe, took about $95 million to build. And if I'm not mistaken, it just sold at foreclosure auction for $15 million. I'm gonna try to get the exact address of this, but if you just Google building that sold at foreclosure, or at auction, I should say. Building that sold at auction, 34th Street and 8th Avenue. You'll see it. And, we've been talking about that too a lot on the live stream, about how a lot of these commercial operators are going to be pressured in a major, major way, right? During the construction boom, when money was extremely cheap, everybody was building like crazy, and I'm assuming not everybody was expecting us to have a pandemic that changes the way we work. But as a lot of that commercial paper or that commercial debt rolls over, right, to higher interest rates, a lot of these commercial operators can't afford to pay their bills. So I'm gonna pull off to the side here. I'm gonna try to get the address for you guys. I apologize I didn't get it earlier. Hey, everything in Miami, what's up? All right, and my eyes are horrible too. Okay, this is 255 West 34th Street. So if you could, maybe somebody, go on Google and look up 255 West 34th Street, because I believe it's this building. Yeah, I mean, I believe it had about $95 million of debt, or the overall total all-in cost was that. And yeah, I think it just sold for 15 million bucks. Maybe somebody could drop the link to the article or something, or even the foreclosure proceedings, because I would want to take a look at that. But you know, this is the new Penn Plaza, and I think they did a fantastic job here. You have nice coffee shops, you have Blue Bottle here. Looks good. FedEx says it's, according to the internet, says 263 West 34th Street. Got it. Thank you, FedEx. Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, how crazy is that? And the thing's not even built yet. It's not even completed. Wild. Anyway, all right, let's continue to head over. Yeah, Tim says Vornado is the builder in the Penn District. Yeah, you're right. Steve Roth's company. Now, Vornado also did 220 Central Park South, which is one of my personal favorite buildings on New York City's Billionaires Row. I think Ken Griffin owns 3 units there. I should say 3 full floors. Hey, Pam B is here. What's up, Pam? Someone says it's 255 West 34th. Well, it's one of them. Maybe tomorrow, when we're doing the live stream tomorrow, I'll get you all of the proceedings and all the data and all the information. But now, the reason why I wanted to take you past that building is the following. There's a very, very well-renowned commercial real estate broker in the city. He's like one of the top dogs. He does more business than just about anybody. And he was working with the developer to try to lease out that space. And, you know, as I've said, it's a little bit iffy over there. And so they had a tenant, or they had a potential tenant that was going to lease all 4 floors in that building. But as they were walking up to the front door, you know, there was, you know, people, you know, shooting heroin and doing all nonsense. So that's not helping either, right? So I think the person who bought that property got a smoking deal, because I think the city's going to clean up the city in essence. And, you know, in and around 34th Street, I think is going to come back in a major way. I really do believe that. Since we're here at Penn Station, we'll do a full tour of the Penn project to Penn. Some of it I think is currently on hold, but we'll do a quick loop around just to see, because I think they've done a good job too. I think they did a really good job, particularly as you'll see the overhang to the new Long Island Railroad. This is 34th Street, 7th Avenue, everybody. We are now standing outside of Macy's, Herald Square. You can see all the main, I should say, Christmas lights all the way in the distance there. But before we go check out all that fun stuff, we will make a right here. So this is the 2 Penn project. What do you guys think? Looks modern, looks good. I actually really like the facade too. We'll walk all the way under it as they've taken down a lot of the scaffolding. I think we may start to buffer here though, so just use that as a forewarning. Actually, I think we need to go around the block. There's a big dead zone there, and I think the stream will not only buffer, but it'll go out. So I think we have to walk around the block, but we'll do that. DC322 says it looks quite different. Solo Flyer says it's much nicer. They did a great job. They did a really, really good job. And I think if you want to restore, you know, the economic activity and the leasing activity and the corporate environment to 34th Street, you know, Midtown Manhattan, you're going to need that. right? Because look at all the competition. Unfortunately, we couldn't go there today, but the Hudson Yards. I mean, if you want to talk about a beautiful, Class A office tower development, I mean, take your pick of any of the buildings in Hudson Yards. So if you have all of these outdated and older buildings in and around 34th Street, Penn Station, and if I'm a CEO or I'm a leasing agent at the company and I'm looking at these buildings in comparison to Hudson Yards, I mean, there's just no competition. So I'm glad that we're getting at least some new product, and I think it is highly, highly needed in this area. This is the main facade of the Macy's Herald Square here. DC322 says, Tom, I remember 2 Penn Plaza didn't have that new extended floor plan above MSG's electric sign. Yeah, there's a big overhang. I think there's supposed to be restaurants there too. Maybe towards the end of the stream, if we could circle our way back, I'll actually take you guys downstairs, because they're just starting to open some of the retail shops in the brand new Penn Station. Now, I'm not talking about the Moynihan train hall. I'm talking about the original Penn Station that many of you probably know and don't love. They did a great job on that too. I was walking through there today. There's going to be brand new Dunkin' Donuts. There's going to be a new Starbucks. I think there's that Pret a Manger. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm horrible with names, but there's a ton of stuff coming in there, which is good. That's what we need. We'll take a look at the turkey one more time before they take it down. What do you guys think? So right here, if you were watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on TV with your family, this is where the main performance was, right here. Hey, Sunshine NYC is here. I see my good friend Brad. What's up? Good to see you, Brad. Sparks Carnival says, Tom, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway has a $155 million position in Brazilian fintech StoneCo. I'm very bullish on StoneCo. Let me take a screenshot of that. Thank you for that, by the way. Brad says, Tom, I hope these cities make changes, but it's going to take new generation of thinking. Yeah, that's true. I am confident it will happen, though. I am. Now, not to get too political, but I think it's important since we were talking about commercial real estate. And if you want to talk about commercial real estate in general in New York City, it's a very, very important subject to New Yorkers for the following reason. Tax revenues, right? Look at the percentage of tax revenues that come from these massive office towers and buildings. And if you have valuations crater, right, of these office towers, well, then what does that mean for the tax assessments and the tax revenues? Well, it means it goes in the opposite direction of what we need. So I don't know who sent this to me, but I retweeted it on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. So go ahead and look at my Twitter. The handle is @WalksWallStreet on Twitter. And it was an interview with the former governor in New York State, Andrew Cuomo. And I mean, he was talking as if, he was explaining some sort of newfound discovery, right? Like he found the cure to cancer or something. And he was like, a big problem in New York City and how it works is that if quality of life deteriorates and if crime goes up, rich people move out, and rich people contribute by and large over 90% to our entire tax base. So it's a perpetual spiral. If you have the big wigs pull out, you're going to have tax revenues plummet, which means services will get cut, and you'll have a perpetual cycle. And you're starting to see this in some big cities too. I don't think New York it'll ever get that bad, but think about some of the cities who quite literally relied on one person as their tax base. Now, I'm being a little bit dramatic and facetious when I say one person as their tax base, but look at the state of Illinois. The state of Illinois took a big hit when Citadel Securities' Ken Griffin pulled out of Illinois and is now a Florida resident. That is a significant portion of the tax base. So that is why if you're sort of asking me about my thesis about why New York and particular neighborhoods that have, fallen by the wayside during the pandemic are going to come back in a big way, is because politicians are just going to get too much pressure. They're just going to get way too much pressure. It's going to be like, hey, our subway service is going to get cut. Education is going to get cut. The libraries are going to get cut. And rich people pay those taxes. So I'm confident that they will fix the issue. Mayor Eric Adams already announced cuts to the New York Public Library system and to education, which is unfortunate. But I'm optimistic that that's going to change. All right, everybody, check this out. This is 34th Street, Herald Square, right here outside of the Macy's. You see a great view of the Empire State Building here. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. I think there's something going on over here. Let's see. John 1776 is any reason you're not calling it X. Just because it's inconvenient. I don't think the X name is going to catch on. We were talking about this last night on the stream. Like, what am I supposed to call it? I usually say I sent out a tweet. I sent out an X. I don't think it works. I don't think it fits. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, if you guys sort of like the conversations we have about not only commercial real estate, but the markets in general, we do write a free financial newsletter for everybody in the group. And I just sent out our latest edition on Friday, so 2 days ago. If you want to read that for free, and we talk about New York City real estate, commercial real estate, the equity market, global markets in general, check that out. I think you're going to get a lot of good value out of that. If you type !news, NEWS in the chat, or if you scan the QR code right here on your screen, it'll take you to our Substack. And I think you'll enjoy it. There was a lot of good nuggets in there on Friday. But here's some of the main windows at Macy's. We were having a debate in the chat, which windows are the best. Is it Saks Fifth Avenue? Is it Bergdorf Goodman? Is it Macy's? I think it's good here. We'll walk around the other side to see. Jimmy Vinny says, Tom, you say send out a post? What do you mean? I don't understand. All right, let's head directly down 34th Street. The rain is really starting to pick up here. But New York City kind of looks really good in the rain, though, at least in my opinion. Hey, someone says, what is your favorite place to go out with the family in Manhattan? I think I like Midtown. I also really like the Upper West Side, particularly if you're going to be living there. The Upper West Side of Manhattan has a lot of good restaurants, particularly on Amsterdam Avenue. Between Amsterdam and Columbus is really, really good stuff. Hey, Jafet Perez, this is Tom. What are your thoughts on Palantir? I included a little bit of a blurb on Palantir in the newsletter that I emailed you on Friday. So go check that out. Now, the thing about Palantir, because essentially what I was writing about is IPOs. I was writing about initial public offerings and how in 2021 we set a record on Wall Street for deal making. Right, not only initial public offerings, but also SPACs. Now, for those of you who don't know, SPAC stands for Special Purpose Acquisition Company. And I've been very, very outspoken. I think the majority of SPACs are outright fraudulent, right? And we've actually seen a lot of that come to pass. Now, there's tons of bankruptcies in SPACs, and there's also a lot of SPACs trading on the market today for below $1. And that was just, fueled by pandemic stimulus and the like. But, Palantir was one of those stocks that went public during all that mania and all that craziness. And it kind of got swept up in the meme stock nonsense. Now, the stock crashed 83%. And it washed out a lot of retail investors that were just buying this thing for no reason. Right, just because people were making YouTube videos saying go buy it. Now, I've been following the stock and I've actually initiated coverage on it. I don't own any of it, by the way. So none of what we talk about here is advice. But I'm covering the stock, and it's building out an IPO base. It's building out an IPO base, and I recommended a book in the newsletter, so go check it out. It's called The Life Cycle Trade: How to Trade IPOs. And it's really about the history of number one, what is an initial public offering? What is it? How does it work? And how do they trade? And what are the characteristics of a very, very successful IPO? And you're starting to see earnings ramp up. You're starting to see sales ramp up at Palantir, but sales are in the high teens, right? It's growing revenue, or I should say top line, in the high teens. I usually look for 25% plus revenue growth. But if the stock can break out above $20, right, it has to clear through a lot of that overhead. I almost never, ever buy stocks with very, very high overhead supply. I actually like to look for companies trading near new highs that are being supported by the market. If you kind of work backwards, the stocks that are performing well, what are some of the main characteristics of that? Well, they tend to have great earnings growth. They tend to have great revenue growth. They tend to have relatively high return on equity, right? 25% plus. Great pre-tax, after-tax margins. And the company usually has an amazing product or service with a very big moat around it. So Palantir is on the watch list, but it still has a ton of overhead supply, and I still think it needs to be shaken out just a little bit. I don't know, what do you think? All right, guys, check this out. This is an amazing shot of the Empire State Building. Very unique shot, too. We're standing directly across the street from the Empire State Building. Very cool. Sorry about that. Needed to put on the Do Not Disturb. Hold on one second. Got it. Sorry, I'm just getting peppered with rain here. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, in the previous newsletter, we did a write-up on IPOs, and I'll give you another really good piece of advice that was given to me, that you should focus and really, really hyper-focus on companies that are able to come to market during very, very severe bear markets and not in bull markets. Because bull markets, any old company could go public and anybody could raise a bunch of money, when there's tons of liquidity out there, right? And this is why, we sort of wrote that short thesis about a year ago on investment banks, right? At the time. Because one of the ways major investment banks make the lion's share of their money is through fee income, right? And deal flow. So if you are an investment banker at Goldman Sachs or any of the other, big bulge bracket investment banks, well, you make money the more deals you do. So the more companies that you take public, the more deals you do, the more underwriting fees you get, and the more money you make, the bigger bonuses you get, and lastly, the more earnings those big banks make. And in 2021, right, due to the pandemic, not only from a fiscal side of the house, so the government, but monetary side of the house, the Federal Reserve, ooh, this guy lost his umbrella. All right, Gary Carpenter, you are out of here. Hold on. All right, hold on 1 second. I need to pull off to the side and wipe the lens. Hold that thought. It's just a little bit of a rainstorm here. Whew. Man, oh man, guys. I think that's the best we're going to be able to do. But anyway, so when the Federal Reserve started to go from quantitative easing to quantitative tightening, right? So tightening monetary conditions, shrinking the size of their balance sheet, and increasing interest rates, guess what? Deal flow on Wall Street cratered to some of the lowest levels it's ever been. So in 2022, deal flow is pretty much nothing. And if you look at some of the infographics that I posted on the newsletter, you'll kind of sort of see that. But if you're a company and you have the ability to raise money from investors and go public during a bear market, well, guess what? There's a high likelihood that that company is of very, very high quality and very, very high fundamentals. Because when things are bad and when the market is really scary and when liquidity is totally locked up on Wall Street, guess what? Investors are very, very hard pressed, or it's very, very difficult to get investors to part with their money. So, the piece of advice that I was given is do extra diligence and pay close attention. You should be absolutely locked in during a bear market and pay attention to what companies are actually coming public during the bear. But unfortunately, that's pretty much the opposite of what the vast majority of market participants do, right? I'll even ask everybody in the chat here, from your perspective, I could almost guarantee you, in 2021, you probably had friends who 2 years ago didn't even know what a stock was. They were probably texting you, calling you with, stock advice, and hey, you got to buy this stock and GameStop and all this nonsense. And that is when you have irrational exuberance and frothiness in the market. Unfortunately, that's when everybody wants to pay attention. But when things are tough and when markets are down, getting crushed or going sideways, that's when really nobody pays attention and the public kind of falls by the wayside. But that's really the opportune time where you could find some of the greatest companies coming public, right? If you're able to raise cash, raise capital, again, during a bear, not to sound like I'm repeating myself, But that's a really good time to try to, do some research to see what companies are coming public there. So if you want to read that sort of thesis I wrote, I sent it out on Friday. If you type !news, N-E-W-S in the chat, once again, !news, N-E-W-S in the chat, it'll drop the link to our Substack, and you could read the research piece we sent out, or you could listen to it again, or you could scan the QR code here. So I know the live streams are long, they're about 2 hours, so not everybody is going to be able to tune in all the time. So the research piece, the reason why I started that newsletter is to take all of the most important things that have happened throughout the week, or trends that I think we should be paying attention to, and putting them into one concise place that there'll be an archive of, right? So you could even go back 2-3 months ago and see all of the work that we've written. And as a little bit of an icing on the cake, I do film property tours of all of our amazing listings in New York City. Most recently, Penthouse 8A at 75 First Avenue. So, what do you guys think of this shot of the Empire State Building here? Looks pretty cool in the clouds here. I want to take you guys to my favorite Korean restaurant in the entire city. Hey, Hawaii, good to see you. Theo, what's up? Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. Anthony says Gotham City vibes. It definitely is a lot of Gotham City vibes. If it wasn't so windy tonight, I actually kind of enjoy walking around in the rain a little bit, particularly in New York. I think it looks very nice. So I'm gonna give you guys. Hey, Matthew P is here. What's up? I think we may have to turn back the other way. We have to stay right in Midtown. Lady Tina says nothing compared to the Chicago winds. I don't doubt it. I don't know if I could live in Chicago. I can barely even live in New York. All right. Oh, Maron. All right. Guys, this is Take 31. This is my favorite Korean restaurant in all of New York City. And right next to it is Her Name is Han. Her Name is Han. So if you're coming to New York City and you want to eat some of the best Korean food there is, please go there. It is very, very good. Fantastic. But you know what? At least I'll be getting a break. I'm going to be in Miami the entire first week of December, and to tell you I'm looking forward to that is a massive, massive understatement. I cannot wait to be back in Miami. The only thing is, though, I hope the weather is nice, right? Because sometimes you can get those crazy rains in Miami. Hey, Sharon says, evening, Tom. I'll have to check that place out. In December. I love Korean food. Sharon, good to see you. Hopefully you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And yeah, we're all very excited for your arrival to New York. That's definitely a good place. I'll send you an email with some more, I should say, recommendations. Well, let's head northbound on 5th Avenue. We'll head towards Columbus Circle, so we'll go up to Central Park South, and then we will go over. Hey, Colton Manning, what's up? This place is love Korean barbecue, but the best Korean barbecue spot is right next to it. It's called Baekjeon. It's amazing. Someone says, hey Tom, do you take any listing or does it have to be above a certain value? So the short answer is yes. We take anything. We don't turn business away. So we'll even do like a $2,000 rental. But do we specialize in that? No. We specialize in luxury. So anything $4 million and above is usually what we specialize in. But I will never turn away business. So, I mean, if you're looking to move to New York City or even gain exposure from an investment standpoint, I deal in any price point. So it's just, for me, I've always wanted to go up the stack because, you know, I think about my career in, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. In the luxury market in New York, it's very good for building a network, right? Very good for building a network with developers, so some of the best developers in the city. But it's also good for building a network with the buyers, right? And maybe you could even do deals from an investment standpoint with some of the buyers of these properties, right? Maybe I'll launch a venture down the line or something like that. Man, we are just getting clocked with the rain. Let's see if we can head further in. But yeah, long story short, we will deal with any price point. Hey, Juan Fernandez, what's up? Says, hey Tom, I see it's coming down pretty hard. Yeah, it is. Coming down pretty hard. John S. Says, Tom, do you do real estate in Miami? We are looking to expand our portfolio soon. Yes, we do. And we are going to be opening an office in Q1 in Miami, which we're really, really excited about. Oof. All right, let's go take a detour this way. Oh my God. Yeah, we should have an office in Mid-Beach, Miami, early Q1, which I'm really, really excited about. Very excited about. Now, that's a good segue because next week, everybody, is mainly going to be very, very real estate heavy week as it relates to a lot of the data that's going to be coming out this week on Wall Street. We're going to get new home sales data. We're also going to get the Case-Shiller Home Price Index data out. And we've been seeing something very interesting in the market, particularly the residential real estate market. And that's the following. Let me just try not to step in this big puddle. You've actually been seeing higher sales transaction activity in new home sales, right? As opposed to existing home sales. Now, why might that be, right? If we kind of try to work backwards and, try to identify a catalyst, right? Well, there's a few reasons, and I actually cover some of these stocks, right? If you look at a Toll Brothers, if you look at Taylor Morrison Home, and I would recommend everybody, so in addition to your regular, I should say, watch lists, you should have your sector breakdown. And then you should zone into sector focus. And, earnings season, we've already heard from the vast majority of the home builders, and sales were actually pretty robust. Now, this is for a couple reasons, but I think the biggest, most obvious reason that I could think of is these are companies, right? These are companies. So if I just want to sell my house, right? Let's say if I decide to sell my house in Miami, I'm probably not going to be able to negotiate as much as Toll Brothers would, or Taylor Morrison Home, or something like that, because they have cash on the balance sheet, and this is new development, new product, so they can readily reduce pricing. They could do interest rate buy downs to help the buyers. You can't really say the same in resales, right? Not as much. Also, there's a lot of people that aren't really motivated to move. So should valuations of residential real estate be lower? Technically, yeah. Yeah, technically. But here's the thing. You need an incentivization to move. And if you have very, very low interest rates, the vast majority of people have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage under 4%, right? So there's really no incentive for them to move. But with new development and new product, if these developers are holding a lot of debt, caught the umbrella. If the developers are holding a lot of debt, you could negotiate a better deal because they just want this stuff off the books, right? They don't want to be sitting on a lot of product and inventory. So I think that new home sales is going to come in pretty robust. I don't know, what do you guys think? Oh my God. Hey, Hal T. What's up, Hal? Hopefully you had a very happy Thanksgiving. But yeah, if anybody in the chat needs help finding a place, either in New York City or Miami, just reach out to me via email or the newsletter. Those are the best places to find me. All right, so we are now approaching the Stephen Schwarzman building, the New York Public Library. Hey, Dusty Cole, what's up? Good to see you. Natasha P, what's up? I am, and we should be opening in Mid-Beach, Q1. We're actually looking to hire somebody down there. Now, this used to be the old Lord & Taylor. Does anybody remember that? Oof. It actually looks like they may have done a revamp on the windows here, Lord & Taylor. Hey, Steph UF says, I have lots of family in Miami. I'll pass their info over to you. Yeah, that would be fantastic. They will be in good hands. That I can assure you. Oh, this is cool. So this is Washington Square Park looking north. Very nice. I could have sworn Facebook took over this building. Oh, this is a cool shot of the Brooklyn Bridge. Tracks says, would you say it's easy to become successful in the real estate business? It's not easy to become successful in anything. But I would say for ease, I mean, no. It's particularly in Manhattan. Like, I mean, think about it. If you're going to be a real estate agent in Manhattan, you have no salary. I mean, it's tough. It's a tough business, man. It's tough. You know, it's the most expensive city in the world. So if you're not doing deals, or if you don't, come from another industry where you have, money saved up or assets from another career or business that you were previously in, it's tough. It's a tough gig, and I don't know, but I love it, and I like a challenge, and I'm relentless and I'm ruthless. So I think I'll be successful at it. Not to sound, cocky or arrogant, but that's just the way my brain works. If I like something and I find it interesting, I want to go work for the best people and learn from the best people. And I think if you keep at it and work hard and build your network, you'll be successful in anything you do. And I truly believe that. So if you want to do it, I say do it. But you should revise your questioning. You shouldn't start off your question with easy. Is it easy? Because I think having that frame is automatically sort of a sure way to fail at anything, I think. But if you like the business and if you have a vision that you want to do something else, I say do it. This is the United States of America. Anything is possible here, and I really do mean that. And I believe that too, wholeheartedly. We could be, think about this. We're just coming off Thanksgiving. This is the New York Public Library. And I think there's a lot to be thankful for this Thanksgiving, right? I mean, just being born in a Western country, in the US of A, is like winning the lottery. I think I would rather be born in the US than to say, like, I would win the lottery. There's a higher probability of winning the lottery than just being a natural born American. It's so hard. I mean, it's insane. There's a lot of places. It's a very, very scary world out there, right? The vast majority of the world is dictators, and they abuse their own people and scum, honestly. So I mean, just to have the opportunity to play in the game, to play this capitalistic game in America is unbelievable. I mean, there's millions and millions of people a year that just want to come to the US, and they travel thousands of miles, right, from all over the world through treacherous conditions just to have a shot at what we were just given just due to the luck of the draw. So if you're here in the ball game, I mean, put on your glove and start playing, because there's a lot of people, I would say probably 500 million people that want to be in your shoes just because you're in the United States. So I say go out, hit it, and attack it with everything you got. All right, everybody, let's do a little bit of a selfish detour here in Grand Central Station. We'll check out the new Long Island Railroad, and we'll get out of the rain for a little bit, and we'll just walk around the terminal. But the city does look really pretty, though, during the rain. Ooh, that does sound awesome. Hawaii says the Dell's Halal sounds so good right now. It does. And yeah, you're right, there's probably no line. Wow. I know, everything in Miami says you've already won the lottery. It's one in, yeah. It's crazy. All right, guys, what do you think about the Chrysler building today? Chrysler building looks good. Chrysler building looks fantastic. And then we have the One Vanderbilt building to the left. Hey, Bree Grahams, what's up? Abdullah says, love your positivity. Yeah, I mean, I just try to keep things in perspective. You know what my friend sent me the other day? My friend sent me this video. I'm sure all of you know this YouTube channel, Mr. Beast, right? I'm sure everybody knows that. I think it's one of the biggest channel in the world, I think. But this guy, I mean, he's a kid, whatever. They went and built a bunch of wells throughout Africa. And they were showing like what the day-to-day life is of some of these people. And I mean, guys, like you have pregnant women that have to walk a quarter of a mile just to get fresh water in the morning. And not even fresh water. They get it from a little stream the water is so brown. And then they carry this like 2-gallon drum on their heads while they're pregnant back to their little village. I will never complain about another thing ever again. Like, dude. So if you can't make it work and you can't make it happen in the United States, when you literally have everything handed to you on a platter, I don't have any sympathy for you, right? I mean, I know everybody, you know, has their own problems, and I'm very sympathetic to that. But I mean, put it in perspective. I mean, some people, you know, have to walk a mile just to get water to start the day. It's insane. It's just insane. So, I mean, the quality of life, and look, America's not perfect, but no place is. But I mean, we live in like ridiculous luxury. So, I think if you put it in that perspective, you'll want to be in attack mode all the time, right? Because anytime you want to sort of complain about something, you're like, oh wait, you know, I have really no right to complain about something because there's people that live without electricity in this world. Let's get away from these people for a second. So yeah, I mean, I was just watching that video. I know it's a little bit off topic, but it's true to keep that in perspective when there's a lot of narratives, particularly on social media platforms, about how, you know, the United States is in structural decline and it's so horrible to be here and everybody's so oppressed here. It's like, all right, pal, why don't we send you on a one-way flight, you know, to the Middle East and see how you think you're so oppressed here. And I would love to trade. I'd love to do a trade. You know, all the people that complained about it here, let's do an even swap, because there's millions and millions of people around the world that are literally would give their firstborn child to be in the U.S. Let's do a swap, you know. I want those people, you know, I want those people from other countries who want to come here and get to work. We want them. We don't want you. That's what I would say. And that's the right perspective to have, because, you know, a lot of natural-born Americans, we didn't really do anything, right, to contribute to America. Our ancestors fought for it in the world wars. We were just blessed to be able to ride on the coattails of the success. So you could at least appreciate it while you're here. All right, no more tangents. No more tangents for tonight. That's the last one. All right, everybody. Well, welcome to Grand Central Station. It's actually not too busy. I was expecting it to be a little bit busier tonight, mainly because everybody's coming back from the holiday weekend, right? Everybody's coming back from Long Island. Everybody's coming back from, what's it called? Upstate New York, right? Kind of weird. I thought this would have been actually pretty busy. We'll take a lap. We'll go downstairs. It is nicely decorated, though. You know, let's walk all the way down the Lexington Avenue passage. I think this is a very underexplored storm riders. Some of us stayed home for the holidays. You know, I would like to see that data too. What do you guys think is the, do you think this was the most traveled Thanksgiving ever? I made that prediction. I don't know if I was right or not, but look at how gorgeous Grand Central Station is. Hey, Jonathan Richards says, hey Tom, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I wish the same for you. I had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Hope you had a good one with your family and your friends as well. Melissa 2087 says, I stayed home as well for Thanksgiving this year. Just went to a restaurant 5 minutes away. Sometimes that's the best way to go about it, right? You know, just having 1 year just to chill out. It's high stakes. I mean, especially if you're hosting Thanksgiving, you got to cook the food, you got to clean the house, prepare everything. So, yeah, Adrian says, no, I feel a lot of people stayed home. I think I'll probably be wrong on this one. So this is the entrance, just to sort of show you guys. This will take you out by the Chrysler Building. Check it out. Chrysler Building looks pretty good tonight too. Latha says, in the United States, Thanksgiving travel is the heaviest traveled. Well, if so, if this was the record-breaking Thanksgiving, I think that's good because crude oil prices have come down significantly, and so is airfare, by the way. When I bought my ticket to Miami, it actually came down significantly, which I'm really happy about. You can see all the taxi cabs lined up outside of Grand Central Station. Hey, Sam. This is hello from Texas. Good to see you, Sam. EMV says, I think that's a dangerous take in saying that you might allow complacency. I don't know. All right, let's head back in. Whew. All right, everybody, let's check out, let's go downstairs. We'll blow some time. We'll show you the brand new not Moynihan, my gosh. The brand new Grand Central Madison. Grand Central Madison. You know, every time I walk through Grand Central, I think about what a horrible move it would have been to take this thing down. They were going to tear it down. Hey, Dan Sang. What's up, dude? Hopefully you had a good Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining. Yeah, we'll go down the ramp by the Whisper Wall here. Optimus 17, James, California. What's up? Oh, this is a good view here. Those chandeliers are amazing. Hey, Bighorn MT, what's up? Someone's asking about the Whisper Wall. Whisper Wall is right here. So if you stand in one of the four corners and you talk into one side, right? So let's say if you're standing here, you're talking here, your voice will go all the way around, boom, and land on the other side, which is kind of cool. Now this place I think closed down temporarily, right? For the pandemic, the Oyster Bar restaurant. Thank God it opened. This is a famous place. I know, FredEx is my kingdom for the skateboard. I think the Shake Shack is still open, let's see. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, you can feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We usually do these streams every night starting at 8:30. And it looks like the Shake Shack is still open. There's a lot of people too. Lots of patrons. But we will now immerse into the underworld, way, way underground. This is to the Long Island Railroad. Hey, Michelle K is here. Jeff Shepard. What's up, Jeff? Melissa 287 says Shake Shack. Yeah, there's a place on. There's a place out in Massapequa called All American, which is a very, very good spot. Shake Shack. Dan saying to Shake Shack or Five Guys. Definitely Five Guys. I'm not really that big of a Shake Shack fan, honestly. I almost don't kind of like it at all. I would say Five Guys. Hey, Carl. What's up, Carl? We're just checking out Grand Central Madison tonight. Now, I think the only other thing, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Salesforce, Mark Benioff, going to be reporting earnings this week. Now, earnings season is pretty much winding down, right? All of the Magnificent Seven has reported. The last company to report in the Magnificent Seven was NVIDIA, and they really blew the doors off of it. I mean, really, really impressive financial results from NVIDIA, really impressive. Another one of the things I wrote about is something called a transformative Dow theory. That's another thing we sort of spoke about in the newsletter. And for those of you who don't know, Dow theory, one of the main components is that they would look at the Dow transportation, or the Dow transports, right? So you have the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and then you have the Dow transports, and a lot of market operators would say, well, if the Dow Jones transportation average breaks above a key swing high, then the market should be known to be in a confirmed uptrend. I think that's a little bit outdated, and I've sort of wrote a thesis as to why that is. So I have my own little version of the Dow theory where I've swapped the Dow Jones transportation average with the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index, right, or the SOX. And I think that's more appropriate, right? I mean, if you think about the vast majority of economic power that's going to drive not only the US economy, but global economies, it's going to be chips. So I think that's a little bit better proxy on, or I should say a little bit better leading economic indicator. If the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index is leading the market, we're actually going to go down here. This is one of the longest escalators anywhere in the city. But if the Semiconductor Index is leading the market and it's trading above 52-week highs, 50-day, 200-day moving average, what does that say about demand going forward for chips, right? We know that the market looks forward 6 months into the future 6 months. And if there's demand for chips, the economy is probably going to grow. If there's not demand for chips, the economy is probably not going to grow. So if you type !news, NEWS, in the chat, you'll be able to read that thesis of why I've sort of chose to swap out the transports for semiconductors. Hey, Sam Banks says, I've had Shake Shack once. I've had Five Guys countless times. There's a reason. Shake Shack isn't terrible, but Five Guys is amazing. I like Five Guys. Yeah, I really do. Hey, Tom from Midtown, what's up? Good to see you, Tom. We're making an excuse to get out of the rain tonight. We're walking around Grand Central Madison. It's actually a pretty big crowd of people trying to get home. Now, how long did it take us to get all the way to the top last week? Was it 11 minutes, I think? Hey, Ramon says, hi, Tom from Santo Domingo. Hey, cool. Wow. I wish I was there. Must be a lot warmer, sunnier, nicer. Let's walk all the way to the end. I don't think we've ever been all the way to the end. Austin City Limits is 5 or 6 minutes, something like that. I mean, they keep it really clean in here, which is nice. Just takes a while to get to this top. I feel like we're in a spaceship. I know. This is very futuristic. Yeah, I think if you get off at one of the further tracks, that's going to be way more than 6 minutes to get to the top. This is 47th Street. Might as well go all the way to the end. I know, Elizabeth Gill says I would love to roller skate down here. Perfect for skateboarding. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been all the way down to the end. Let's go up this escalator, see where that takes us. So this is 48th Street. That's crazy. So we walked all the way from 42nd Street to 48th Street underground. That's a long way. Let's go up the escalator this way. That's 6 blocks underground.
Please watch your step getting on and off. Please be careful while riding the escalator. Please face forward while riding this escalator.
Ladies, push carts, and pull carts are not permitted on the escalator. For your children's sake, do not allow them to play all over the escalator.
I'm surprised the internet is still working. It's kind of strange that there's nobody here. I feel like I'm an NPC character in a video game, like walking through a map and there's nobody here. Doesn't it feel like that? Hey, NMB45, what's up, man? Yeah, welcome to Grand Central Station. Someone says, can we get skateboarding and live streaming again? We cannot, unfortunately. We cannot. I'm an old geezer now, guys. I'm all grown up. I'm gonna break a hip.
52 train to Long Beach is now going on track 201. Stopping at Jamaica, Louisiana.
I know, Diana's like you're in a twilight zone.
Center Avenue, East Parkway, Oceanside, Island Park, and Long Beach. Now going on track 201. Transfer opportunity is available at Jamaica for the Oyster Bay train and the air train to JFK Airport.
So that's how I get to the airport, if you hear the guy. Oh, here's one person.
Customers heading to Hollis must board the first 4 open cars of the train to exit at Hollis Station. Transfer opportunity is available at Jamaica for the air train to JFK Airport. Last call, track 302.
Hawaii is like, this is all one train? Yeah, this is all one train. Now that's the easiest way to get to the airport by far. Look at this elevator shaft. So the easiest way to get to the airport, in my opinion, is take the Long Island Railroad. Take the Long Island Railroad to Jamaica Station, and then take the air train to JFK. You'll save a lot of money on the Uber. Yeah, this is the train I used to take all the time. Well, look, I think overall they did a really good job with Grand Central Madison. It's clean, you know, there's no there's no bad activity going on down here. Let's check out some of the tracks. So you have Hempstead, Huntington, Port Washington, Long Beach, Ronkonkoma, and Babylon. The Babylon train is what I used to take all the time. So from Babylon, oh, here's another train that just pulled in. You can see everybody getting off. So it goes from Penn Station, Jamaica, Rockville Center, Baldwin, Freeport, Belmore, Wantagh, Seaford, Massapequa, Massapequa Park, Amityville, Copeg, Lindenhurst, and Babylon. That's sort of the train that I would get back in the day. No. Oh, I thought all the escalators were broken going up. I'm like, I don't know if I could walk all the way up that. Only the majority of the escalators are broken, not all of them. For a quick second, I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I have the energy to trek all the way up. It's pretty steep. right, cool.
Final boarding call for the 10:30 train Huntington. That's now boarding on track 303. Stopping at Jamaica, Almont U.S. Arena, the Hyde Park, Malon Avenue, Mineola, Powell Place, Westbury, Hicksville, offset Cold Spring, Harbor, and Huntington, track 303. Transfer opportunity is available at Jamaica for the air train to JFK Airport. Last call, track 303.
I know. Vapors, 2 thumbs down. Yeah, I was reading this report that the chemicals in the vape, it like corrupts and mutates your cells. It's like so bad for you. But so many people do it. I even see high school people doing it now, like high school kids. Someone says Massapequa is pretty middle class. It's like very, I mean now it's like crazy. It's like you need to be a multi-millionaire to buy something there. It's crazy what Long Island has become, particularly in the Massapequa shores. I mean, Massapequa shores, I mean, those houses are $2-3 million bucks. It's crazy. It's pushing a lot of native Long Islanders out. It's extremely expensive. You know, if you are looking for a starter home on Long Island, I mean, something that's not junk, like something that's decent in a good school district, I mean, you're paying over $600. And then your property tax bill is probably going to be over $15,000, which is insanity. You know, some people, depending on where you live, you know, your tax bill is 30-40 grand a year. I mean, I don't even know how that's doable. It's wild what things have, you know, what this market has become. It's really crazy. Odd. Someone says there's a Netflix special on vaping. I think there's going to be like down the line, probably in the next 5-10 years, maybe 10 years, it'll probably come out of like the atrocities that vaping has done to your lungs. I think it's going to destroy people, because it's always like that, right? It's always like, oh no, it's super healthy. It's way healthier than smoking. It's great. And then all the studies and all the research comes out 10 years later that it was horrible for you. It kind of reminds me of those commercials, those old cigarette commercials. It's like, if you want to be healthier, you have to smoke Camel cigarettes. These are the healthiest cigarettes. Let me see if I could put this on. All right, out into the New York City. Ah, these guys got caught out without an umbrella. Ooh, that stinks. Let me check my battery. We're good. All right, so we'll just do a quick recap. Obviously, this week is going to be very heavy on the housing data. We're going to get a lot of new home sales data that's going to be coming out. We're also going to get inflation data on Thursday, which will be important because December, everybody, remember, this is the last opportunity for the Fed to potentially hike interest rates for the end of the year. Now, I don't know if they are, right? I mean, after that CPI report, oof. You know, bond yields pretty much came down across the curve. But then, if you see the building all the way in the distance, that's Salesforce Tower. And we are going to hear from Salesforce this week as they report corporate earnings. You can see it's like a river running down the block. Look at that. I know, Zozo Bombs says, Tom, I heard the JP Morgan Chase office tower topped out. It did. We were talking about that yesterday. Now, there was all the major politicians that were in New York City for that. You had the governor of the state, Kathy Hochul. You had the mayor of New York City, Mayor Eric Adams. And then you also had Jamie Dimon, who was there also. So I'm excited about that. I think it's a really nice building. It's only a matter of time before Ken Griffin builds his own office tower. Hey, Jacqueline's here. Good to see you, Jacqueline. You can see the Steven Schwartzman building in the distance here. We are back on Fifth Avenue. At least the wind died down a little bit. I'm hungry though. I wonder what I'm going to eat for dinner. Hey, Mark Francis 07 or 076. Good to see you. Man, look at all this garbage. Hey, Kenny. Just 99-cent pizza, I know. I think I have some chicken at home. I think I need to plug the phone in under this little overpass here. What? It's the first time I've seen somebody using a leaf blower when it's soaking wet out. I don't know if he knows that maybe that doesn't work very well when the leaves are stuck to the ground because it's soaking wet. Maybe he's not getting the memo. All right, hold on one second. everything in Miami is the Bryant Park Market open this late? I'm not sure. I think it closes early on Sundays. Ah, Colton Manning, nice. Yeah, I thought you'd like it. It's a really nice view from the top of the penthouse at 5 First Avenue. It's an awesome view up there. Hey, Karina Thompson, good to see you. Now, this stone, I don't know what this stone is called, but this is like ice skating whenever it's raining in this building. Just a little bit of a tip for anybody who may be visiting New York. You really got to be careful here. But I think this is a beautiful shot. Looks amazing when it's raining here. Leida, actually the Candy Cane building is way far up. I know they may look the same, but the Candy Cane building is right next to the Plaza Hotel. They do look a little bit similar though. Oh yeah, that's right, everybody. I think yesterday we reached over 38,000 people. So thank you all for subscribing and for being here. I think this is really fun, what we do. So, I mean, 38,000 people is kind of wild. So thank you all for joining and supporting the stream. Much appreciated. All right, this is outside of Bank of America Tower. And this is looking northbound towards Central Park. Hey, Melee, what's up? Tommy G is like a bigger audience than CNN. Funny. Oh, this looks nice here. Someone says you should take us all out for tacos at 50K. I'm down for that. Maybe we'll do Del Frisco's at 50K. If anybody's in New York, we'll rent out the back room of Del Frisco's and we'll have some steaks. I'm down for that for sure. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun time, good times. Now, I think I may take Hawaii's advice. Let's walk up by Adele's. Maybe the line isn't too long. Maybe that's what I have for dinner tonight. I don't know. We'll see. I think this picture that we have here is like very classic, iconic New York City in the rain right here. Oh man, that is slippery. Yeah, Latha's like I had a feeling you were going to take a quick stroll by there. We're going to be strolling. Now, right on the right, this is 1166 Avenue of the Americas. This is my old office. Also, D.E. Shaw, or David E. Shaw and Co., the quantitative-based hedge fund. They are right in the building to the right, too. I always tell that story about Jeff Bezos. Many people don't know, but before he started Amazon, he took a very lucrative job at D.E. Shaw & Co. Hey Dennis, greetings from Montreal. I love New York City. I've been vacationing in the city for the past 30 years. Thank you for your streams. Well, Dennis, hopefully you can come back and visit for the holidays. That'd be pretty cool. And thank you for your very generous donation. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for the support. Man, that wind is powerful. Hey, look who it is. Andrew Calhoun, what's up? Long time no see. It's a pleasure to have you here. Hope you're well. Richard says, Tom, coffee or hot chocolate? I'm a coffee guy, but I'm not opposed to a hot chocolate. But I'm more of a coffee guy, to be quite honest. All right, well, we are coming up on News Corporation. And News Corp owns the Wall Street Journal, Barron's, and Investors Business Daily now. So William J. O'Neill was the founder of IBD. And he unfortunately passed away this year. But I think he lived a very fulfilling life. And before he died, he sold his company. Sold his company for about $250 million to News Corp. So if you think about all of the major, I should say, financial media publications, they're all pretty much under one house now, right in this building at News Corp. Let's check out the Christmas tree. Might as well. We'll cross. I know, FredX says the tree is so far unburned. Keyword, FredX, so far. I think it was 2 years ago now that some crazy person set fire to the Christmas tree and burned it down. Was that 2 years ago now? What do you guys think? Let's rate it. 7-1. 7-1. It's good. Now, when you see the Christmas tree outside of the New York Stock Exchange, that's really gonna blow you away in a big way. Hold on. Oof. And right across the street we have the Diamond District. Yeah, Juan Fernandez, 250 million seems like a little bit cheap for that. I agree with you, man. But then again, I'm a big William J. O'Neill fan. I think we may start to buffer over here. No, look, there's still a lot of people in the line for Adele's. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. Also, as a quick reminder, I did send out our Behind the Street newsletter, our free financial newsletter on Friday. So go ahead and check your email or check your spam folders if you haven't gotten it already. And if you'd like to be on the list, signed up to our free financial newsletter, you could scan the QR code on your screen or type !news, N-E-W-S in the chat, and you can punch in your email and you can be signed up to receive all of our equity research for free. Now, at the very, very bottom of the newsletter, we do behind the scenes exclusive penthouse tours of really amazing listings in the city. So this week's publication, we featured the penthouse at 75 First Avenue, and you do not want to miss that. So go ahead and check it out. But I think this is a good place to end it, everybody, because it is raining and I do have to get some dinner. So if you all enjoyed the live stream tonight, feel free to join us tomorrow, where we will be live at 8:30. But in the meantime, thank you so much, and I will see you all tomorrow. So Vinny, I appreciate it. Emmanuel, fascinating. Adrian, all of our moderators, Sunshine NYC, FredX, Brian, NNB 045, Layda, Gary Carpenter, Andrew, Richard, there's always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. And we will see you all tomorrow. Take care.